Was good, ballers? This is Jim's Ballin' back again with another little bit of a recap, thoughts, reaction to the latest Lions game. Last game of the regular season, week 18 against the Vikings. The game for the number one seed in the NFC North. The Lions were able to walk out with a win, and a very convincing win. And I just want to give a shout out to Aaron Glenn, Amik Robertson, and Alex Anzalone, and just the whole defense. The defense was absolutely ridiculous, just everyone. Aaron Glenn drew up a defensive scheme to completely shut down Sam Darnold. They just made Sam Darnold completely uncomfortable the entire game. He was not able to settle in and just was extremely inaccurate the whole game under pressure, and it worked extremely well. The defensive plan that Aaron Glenn drew up was to just blitz Darnold and then have man-to-man coverage, and just man-to-man coverage, the coverage held up extremely well, and the pressure got to Darnold, and he was just uncomfortable the entire game, and the Minnesota offense was just not able to do anything. And the red zone defense especially was ridiculous. Shutting down the Vikings in the red zone like that every single time, allowing the Vikings to only put up field goals, no touchdowns allowed, just absolutely ridiculous. Amik Robertson playing against Justin Jefferson, arguably the best wide receiver in the league, to completely shut him down the entire game is insane. I don't know if anyone else could do that. And Alex Anzalone's been injured, but he's finally back, and just with him back, I think he just completely makes this defense just gel and just work as a complete unit. And yeah, the defense was just insane. Just considering how the defense has been the weak spot with all the injuries, just the way they played this game was insane. It was ridiculous. So shout out to the entire defense. And Jared Goff made a couple of mistakes, but overall he had a decent game. Jahmyr Gibbs is just a beast. He's insane. 4 touchdowns is ridiculous. And just the game plan for this entire game. The game plan was perfect. Just to have a super bruising defense, get on Sam Darnold, then the offense just slowly wear down the Vikings defense, and then just at the end of the game, just Gibbs was just running all over the Vikings, and it worked extremely well. Admittedly, in the first half, I was a little bit worried because the Vikings had these chances in the red zone and they were going to put up points, but the Lions defense just completely shut them down. And then by the time the second half rolled around, the Lions just took over the game. They just took over, and the Vikings just didn't have a chance. And I guess maybe the calls were maybe a little bit in favor of Detroit, maybe some PIs that didn't get called for Detroit, that safety call, the safety no call, for that matter. Maybe if those went in the Vikings' favor, maybe it would have been a little bit better for the Vikings. But all in all, with how the defense was shutting down the Vikings, they just didn't really have a chance at all. Even if some calls went their way, I still think the Lions would have won this very easily. And the Vikings just didn't capitalize on any of the opportunities they had. They were able to generate turnovers and be able to get into the red zone and just not be able to capitalize on any of that at all. The Lions just thoroughly won this game. And this was just a massive game. The Lions just wanted this game a lot more. They really wanted this. The difference between the 1 and the 5 seed is ridiculous. How much this game meant was ridiculous. Easily the biggest game of the regular season was this game. So instead of going on the road to face the Rams next week, the Lions get a week off, and then they get home field advantage just throughout the entire playoffs up until the Super Bowl, which is a lot better than having no home field games at all, playing 3 straight games to make it to the Super Bowl. So this was a massive win. Lions earned a week off, and with this week off, they can heal up more. And with home field advantage, it's hard not to see this Lions team making it to the Super Bowl. If this defense can play as well as it did tonight, then there's no way they don't make it to the Super Bowl. And shout out to the Vikings. They still ended the season with 14 wins, which is ridiculous. Considering the expectations they had going to the year, they just outdid those very easily. They're still an extremely dangerous team, and we could see a matchup between these two teams again. Hopefully it would be a much closer game, be a bit more exciting. But yeah, the Lions, after this win, they've just looked insanely impressive, tied for the best record in the league as well. The Lions have just met expectations and more, and this is with a team that's been pretty depleted with injuries. They still just met all these expectations and succeeded. This team is ridiculous. They are insanely good. And yeah, I don't have really anything to say except praise for Detroit. And I guess I'm a bit surprised that maybe the Vikings weren't able to drop something to kind of prevent the Lions from doing what they wanted to do. It seemed like Sam Darnold was throwing the ball a lot, and he was just extremely uncomfortable the entire game, but still they just kept letting Sam Darnold throw the ball time and time again when he was uncomfortable and just wasn't able to get it done, which kind of surprised me. I was a little bit surprised that the Vikings didn't run the ball more. Considering how the biggest play from the Vikings was a run, they kind of didn't get the run game going that much. I thought maybe they'd do some more screen passes, some more passes to Aaron Jones. I felt like that probably would have worked well, but I don't know. The Vikings just weren't able to do anything they wanted to do today. But yeah, shout out to the Lions. Extremely impressive win, and I think they're looking like the best team right now going into the playoffs. Got a week to rest up, got a week to get more healthy for the next matchup, so extremely happy from this win. This is insane. This is insanely good. Yeah, this has been Jim's Ballin'. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Peace.